Alright, so today's project I'm going to be doing is a beef shank. Now usually you'll see these at your local butcher shop and they've already cut them. Usually people use them on bones for soup or any kind of stew of that sort. But I'm doing the entirety of this shank. The shank is essentially kind of where your calf muscle is on your cow. It tends to be a tougher piece of meat, but it has a lot of flavor. So what I'm going to do is actually going to smoke it. But first, this is how you get it. Shout out to my local butcher shop, Humphreys. They actually had 2 of these and they hooked me up today. You'll see that the bone is right there. And what I'm going to do is at about a fist in, I'm going to cut here to expose some of that other bone. I'm going to clean it up. And then right now I do have to kind of clean all this, take some of that silver skin off, take some of that, thicker membrane in order to expose some of that meat below it. And so go ahead and follow me for this part and we'll start on the smoking process right next. Now usually what you want to use is a fillet knife. I'm using essentially a chef's knife and I'm going to try and get in under this just to make sure that I'm able So now that I've cleaned it up, I took some of that tougher skin off. It could use probably a little bit more cleaning. I'm going to keep messing with it. There are a couple ways people do smoke these. They can do it laying down. I am planning to do it standing up. I'm going to use gravity to my advantage just because this marrow is going to liquefy. It's going to come all over and dress this meat. I am going to use butcher's twine to hold it in place because once that meat starts getting tender during the smoke process, this bone can separate. So I'm going to try and keep it together. I'm going to do it in 3 different spots. And this should be pretty good. We'll find out. So now that I've cleaned it up, I put my butcher's twine in 3 different places to hold that bone to the meat. Remember, when you're smoking this, it's going to tend to separate like any bone to meat. I'm trying to keep it together for presentation purposes. You don't need to keep it together, but what I also want to do is that when I'm cooking it this way, this marrow is going to come over and it's going to dress this meat. So that's the plan. So you want to have butcher's twine to at least hold this bone together because like I said, it is going to want to separate on you. You don't need the bone, but presentation sake, it's what we like to do. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a little bit of avocado oil. You can use olive oil. I'm going to use avocado oil. It's kind of my binder. Sometimes I actually use mayo, but today I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Do some olive oil. And then I got a mixture of different spices here between my salt, my pepper, a little bit of achote, garlic. There's even a little bit of sugar on here, paprika, cayenne pepper. So there's a mixture of spices that's going to also infuse with the smoke. It should be a really good one. It should be very vibrant. I'm trying to do a little bit of that, back-end culture that I put in on my meat. So we're going to go ahead and just mix all this together and hopefully you guys, I got it all seasoned. It's ready to go. I'm actually going to fridge it first though. I want this meat to be very cold when I throw it in the smoker. Reason being, I want a lot of smoke flavor. If the meat is cold, it takes longer to get into that internal temp, which means it's going to absorb more of that smoke flavor. I am going to go a little bit on the low and slow side. And then I'm probably not going to wrap it. I'm going to have it vertical up and I'm just going to go with it and go unwrap the entire time. I don't think it's going to need it. I think it's going to be really good. So we'll go from there and stay tuned.